Hello, I'm Linda Barlow, Managing Editor of the HealthWell Foundation blog, Real World Healthcare. Today I'm meeting virtually with Bob Clark, founder and managing member of ClarkLaw, PLLC, and independent legal counsel for the HealthWell Foundation. Hi, Bob. Can you tell me a little bit about your law background and how you came to work with HealthWell?
Good afternoon, Linda. Yes, of course. I've been practicing law for 40 years now, both in private practice and as in-house counsel for some of the nation's most prestigious healthcare organizations. I was the managing member of Vince Levin's health law practice for a number of years, was with Reed Smith, Baker Donaldson, and Ober Kaler. Also, at one point, I was the general counsel of Vitas Healthcare, which is the nation's largest hospice provider.
And how did you come to get involved with HealthWell?
Well, in 2003, I was with my former law firm, Reed Smith, and we were putting together a number of patient assistance programs. And we put together HealthWell Foundation at that time. And I was the individual that actually was on the incorporation papers. And since then, we've been involved, and I've been involved with HealthWell ever since, getting their OIG advisory opinion originally in 2007 and the later modifications.
So I'm seeing a pattern here. You've been involved with HealthWell since its inception, and I'm seeing a pattern of sort of long-term engagement with the foundation among HealthWell's board members, the staff members, and apparently the legal counsel.
Well, yeah, I think a testament to a well-respected, well-run organization is how long its individuals stay with it. Its board members, its staff, its legal counsel. I've known the board members for all these years. We have a few newer board members on, but I've been associated with the board members and the staff since the very beginning. And that's a real testament to the organization, and also a great foundation, if you will, for building a compliance program and environment that works.
So as HealthWell's legal counsel, how do you interact with the board and the staff?
Well, I'm in constant contact with the organization. Because they are so compliance oriented, I'm involved to make sure that everything is done right. And I'm at all the board meetings. I help negotiate their agreements. I am involved in their compliance activities in direct contact with the chief compliance officer. We do risk assessments, we do audits. I'm always here for them, and it's an honor to be able to have that role and to be relied upon in that fashion.
I've noticed that HealthWell has an OIG opinion that has been modified twice. Can you talk through how those modifications are different and what they addressed?
Of course, Linda. In 2007, HealthWell received its original OIG advisory opinion, and that opinion sets forth the parameters, if you will, within which HealthWell must operate in order to avoid liability under the anti-kickback statute and other healthcare regulatory requirements. Subsequent to that, in 2011, we received a modification that allowed for HealthWell to have Medicare-only funds, which no other organization had done to that point and which was very cutting edge. Subsequently, in 2014, the OIG issued a special advisory bulletin because of certain practices that were going on in the industry, which were not favorable. So as a result of that bulletin, all patient assistance programs had to recertify under their advisory opinion. And we were ready to do that by the end of 2014, but other organizations were not. So in 2015, when the OIG felt all organizations were ready, we all sort of recertified at the same time. And so we had the original and 2 modifications.
Got it. Thank you for clarifying. Do you have anything else to add before we wrap up?
Well, I think, first of all, as I said, it's an honor to work with an organization that puts compliance at the very forefront of its activities. We're constantly watching what's going on in the industry. We keep our eyes on other advisory opinions. We watch the settlements that are issued by the Department of Justice and OIG. We follow the cases to see how the industry and the organizations in that industry are acting, and some not in a very good fashion, so that we can tailor our programs and our activities in a manner that's continuing to be compliant with OIG requirements. Also, I'd like to sort of direct you all to the compliance wheel that the organization has, and specifically 4 aspects of that. And one is, setting fund parameters. We're very, very focused on making sure funds are set up right in a manner that's compliant with the OIG advisory opinion and industry standards. Limiting donor reports. It has been a real issue of late with respect to the kind of information some patient assistance programs are getting to donors, and not in a good way. So we are constantly making sure that our donor reports are very limited and only provide the information required or permitted under the OIG requirements. Also, the inclusive product list. This is something that came out of the supplemental bulletin, and requires us to provide all products with respect to a particular disease or disease state. And we are very astute at following these kinds of requirements. And finally, setting up funds in a compliant way through our board physicians who are well-versed in these requirements and do it the right way.
Great. Bob Clark, thanks again for sharing your insights and expertise with us today.
Thank you, Linda. It's been a pleasure.